What's up, everybody? What's up? It's Maisha Edmond, licensed cosmetologist in the state of New York. I am also a certified trichologist. What's going on? Happy Monday. It is February 27th. Oh my God. It's like March, basically. I'm super excited to be here this morning. I just wanted to talk to you guys about thinking like a trichologist. Hey, what's going on? A little bit of housekeeping. I am live on Instagram, trichology_911. I'm also live on YouTube. YouTube, yeah. I'm also live on hey lady. I'm also live on my regular Facebook page and my Trichology 911 page on Facebook as well. Super excited to be here. Oh my God, it's almost March. I'm going to talk about this later, but I want to say it now. If you have not signed up for the March powwow, I need you to do so. The powwow is going to be 4 weeks of one-on-one with me. It is going to be absolutely amazing. Hey, Marquita. So what we're going to be doing is, okay, so I had this thing called the powwow, right? It was super dope. Marquita could tell you. So like this is where we like essentially close the door behind us, let out our frustrations about trichology, came out with a whole plan, fixed our makeup, fixed our faces, and came out and dominated and started to make money. So I have the gold VIP. Everybody's a VIP, right? Because I'm going to be up late at night talking to y'all. So, you know what I'm saying? Grab your bowl of cereal, a little Starbucks, I don't know, a honey bun straight out the microwave, right? And get comfortable, and we're going to be taking notes. I want to talk about just business tips, strategies. If you are a gold member, we'll have like group questions. But if you are a platinum member, then you can actually give me like one-on-one, and people can actually see you being coached or mentored right there on the spot. So that is going to be super dope. I cannot wait. So you have the gold and you have the platinum. It's going to be amazing. Okay. So this, today is Monday, and I really want to talk about thinking like a trichologist, because there is a different mindset when it comes to trichology. I heard a man say yesterday that income follows assets. And I like that. I thought it was pretty dope. He said income follows assets. And what he meant by income follows assets, from what I gather, was that the more assets you have, the more income that you are able to attract, right? The more income that you're able to demand, right? So what he was saying was like, if your asset is just your hands, right? You're a stylist, you're a nurse, right? You are a carpenter, right? If the only asset you have is your hands, then you're only able to trade your hands or your labor for time and dollars, right? So you only have but so many hours in a day. And if you're working for yourself and you're not, and there's nobody working with you, and you don't have to split the money, you can only make so much money. So the first level of income making will be implementation, the person that is doing the thing, right? But he said, if you can begin to create things, right? Create assets that don't involve you trading your time, then you really can make more money, and you can make it quicker. So what does that look like for you? That looks like you really thinking like a trichologist. And that means this, that I can be a trichologist, and I can see clients, and they could come in and they can when they come in, I can do their treatments, and I can have them under the laser, and I can do all those things. And it's really good money. It's really good money. Trichology money is different. But if I did something like write a book or create a program, or create trainings and have forms and different things like that that other people could buy into, I could make more money without needing my time, right? So that means that when you do a class, the class is going to be dope because you're doing it. It's you, boo. So if you're doing the class, record it. Make sure that even if you don't completely edit it because you want that raw, real experience, at least put a little intro and an outro on it, and then put it somewhere where people can download it and have it. That means that you don't have to keep teaching that class do teach the class, what will happen is that they'll pay more because they're coming for the Q&A. So somebody may download the class and love the class, but then they have questions. So when you offer that class live, they'll pay more, and they'll begin to like ask you questions, and then that would be the thing that really makes a difference. So I got some notes because I always got notes, right? And I want to talk about thinking like a trichologist. I need glasses, child. I need to see. Okay. All right. So the first thing when you talk about looking at thinking like a trichologist, you begin to look deeper into hair and scalp problems, right? So it's not just surface, right? And I talk about this all the time. When you think like a trichologist, you are looking deeper, looking more deeply into hair and scalp problems. So it's not just what can I put on the hair? What can I put on the scalp? But more so, what can I do underneath so that I'm able to get the right result? What am I able to do to help support the client who's doing all the right things? They're eating right. They're on supplements. They are looking at like hormones. They're doing all these things. What can I do to help that client? So as a trichologist, I'm looking deeper into hair and scalp issues. I'm not a slave to even products, right? Because you know how it is. You find a product, you're like, oh my God, this is going to help my business to run. And I'm a trichologist, but I'm only a trichologist as far as the products take me. As soon as there is a backup, as soon as there is a recall, as soon as everybody else gets put on to this product, then guess what? Then the line gets longer. You don't have like a preferential kind of treatment. And so it's sold out often. And now your business is at a standstill because the client can't get it. You know what I'm saying? And you built your whole entire trichology practice on a product, right? So when you look deeper into hair and scalp issues, you consider the science. You consider what things can we do naturally so that the client can be helped. So funny. I was working with an amazing lady on, I think it was Friday. I had a consultation with her, and it was one of the in-person consultations. And because I think like a trichologist, right? Because I'm able to think like a trichologist, what I was able to do was to like listen to her story. And I'm like, okay, she has a lot of stress. Okay, one thing was that she had a whole lot of stress. And we know that that's one of the big things that are contributing to that hair loss situation, right? So she had all these things going on. And she was like, you know, I've been a nurse for this amount of years. It was like over 20 years. And she was just kind of like, I really, you know, I don't want to go back to work, but I really need money and this and the other. And as a trichologist, we know that we are some of the best investigators in the industry, because we have to do more than just slap something on the hair, slap something on the scalp, you know, put you under a light and keep you going, right? We have to make sure that what we're doing is looking deeper. And so I was able to give her some tips on what she should do, as well as letting her know that, listen, when you reduce stress this way, right? And we start to increase, you know, your relaxation, and we start to come up with some kind of a plan and talk about your consistency, then you're going to begin to see not only will you be able to see hair growth, but you'll begin to see a better quality of life. I think that if we look at trichology as, or being a trichologist as a person that introduces a better quality of life to our clients, then we won't be so stressed to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to grow hair back. No, if the hair can grow back, it's going to grow back. Right? But there are certain things that we can do to help it along. So when we think like a trichologist, we want to look deeper. We don't want to just be like tied to products and certain things like that, right? The next thing when you talk about thinking like a trichologist is going to be that we price properly. We're going to talk about pricing properly. So if you have not yet, and I'm going to keep saying this, if you have not yet signed up for the March powwow, you should. Oh, also Afterpay is available. So you ain't got to, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to give the people the money all at once. You know what I'm saying? You can break it down into four. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about pricing properly. As a trichologist, we're looking at the fact that when we think like a trichologist, we're like, okay, so what are we doing, right? I remember, and I always tell this story. I remember when I first did my first client straight out of trichology training after clinicals, and it took a little while because as soon as I finished, I quit because I did not understand how to make trichology make sense and still be in the salon. And I was just like, I didn't have anyone to ask, so I had to be the answer. Okay, so there's that. So I remember charging $1,100 for a 16-week program for trichology, and I was like elated. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And the lady was like, $1,100, and like paid me all at once. I was like in my heart, I was like, right, I had to, but I was, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, $1,100. But week 4 into it, because let me tell you, when you don't price properly and you don't believe, hey Bishop, and you don't believe who you are, as far as being a trichologist, what happens is, and this is in any industry, when you don't believe who you are and you don't believe in what you do, you are going to price too low. People are going to jump all over it. You're going to go home and say, oh, people are taking advantage of me. But no, you didn't know your value. So when you think like a trichologist, right, and you begin to make more money, the whole thing is, the reason why you're able to make more money is because you're pricing properly. Don't just start giving out discounts, because what are you doing? Like they're saying, oh, it's Monday, and I usually don't do this, but because it's Monday, I'm going to give you $100 off. And what's your name? Oh, it starts with an A. Okay, so right, Bishop? Pricing is the key, because you can do a whole bunch of people, right? You can treat a whole bunch of people for a little bit of money and you're worn out. Or you can price properly. And when you price properly, you could do 1 or 2 people, have your whole day, and you be fine. And you know that you gave them quality, you gave them the solution. The whole thing with being a trichologist or being an expert in your area is that you have to understand that you are the solution. Price like you are the solution. Are you pricing like you are the answer to the problem that the person has? Because why would they come to you if you were not the answer? So when you price like you are the solution, they see the value and they buy into it. So when we talk about thinking like a trichologist, you have to really look at the fact that your pricing is going to be key. I started at $1,100 for 16 weeks. And guess what? You could get a trichologist, Maisha Kiana Edmond, for the low price of $54 a week. That's crazy. Do you know how much I paid for school? Do you know how many hours I was in school? Do you know how many books? I got a book right here. Do you know how many books I purchased? How many programs? And then with trichology, you have to put your own program together. So by the time you do all that, do you think that you are an asset? You need to price where a person puts you in their budget. You are a part of the budget. I don't care what you do. But as a trichologist, you need to become part of the budget. Absolutely. They must pay for the solution. If you are the answer, then you feel comfortable. Now, let me tell you what I used to do. When I first used to give out big numbers, right? When I first started saying, okay, that's $2,600 and it's for 12 weeks, I would just go grab a broom or something. And I'll just start sweeping. Hey, Jonisha, I'll just start sweeping. Or I'll just go pick up some. I'm going to leave you to your own devices, babe. So I'm going to say the price, and you say only. So I'll go, okay, so for 12 weeks of treatment, it's only going to be $2,600. Your deposit today will be $500. I'm going to give you a moment, or I don't say I'm going to give you a moment. I'll just be like, hold on. I'll go into the office and I'm doing all of this. I'll go to the bathroom or whatever. And I'll come back. When I come back, they got their card in their hand. Because why are you underpricing? You're the solution. I don't care what it is you're doing, but as a trichologist, you're the solution, right? So if you know what you're doing and you know that you studied and you know that you have the answers and you know that, yes, look, you can buy everything I have on my shelf. Come in and spy. Buy everything I have on my shelf. You don't know how to use it for what you have. Even if you read the instructions, can I be honest? Even if you read the instructions, because the things that we have are not, you can't use them out the box for Black people. Can I be honest? Then guess what happens? You don't get the results because we have to start to consider melanin. We have to consider how we eat. We have to consider our health and how things react with our diets and our lifestyles. So it's really the thing. Bishop said experience is the key to effective results. Absolutely. It is the key to effective results. So as you're doing that, so when you think like a trichologist or any industry that you're in, right? Why you not studying? What's wrong? You're like, oh, nobody's coming. You ever heard the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears? You ever heard of that? So it's the same thing in business, right? When the provider is ready, right? The clients show up. Because then you understand what they need. You understand what you should give them. You're not like you're trying to buy a vowel and all that other stuff. You don't need to do that. So we're talking about thinking like a trichologist. Don't forget, my March powwows are available now. We're going to be meeting every weekend, late night, and we're going to be building business in trichology. Okay, so the next thing is, when you're thinking like a trichologist, create proactive treatment bundles, right? Don't wait until your clients don't have any hair. Why are you only marketing to people that don't have hair? Why are you not marketing to those people who are like, I want to keep my hair on my head? Don't wait till there's a problem and you got to dig yourself out of a hole, right? You start to do the thing now. So when you start to market, you're looking at the fact that, okay, I know that women, when they hit age 40% of women over the age of 40 in the USA are experiencing some type of hair loss. 40% of women in America over the age of 40 are experiencing some type of hair loss. So if I'm thinking like a trichologist, I'm going to make a poll and I'm going to say, how many of us are going to be 40? Or, let me know when your birthday is. And then when I get enough people that say, I'm going to be 40, like, how do you feel? Hey, if you were born in 1982, you are going to be, 40 years old. If you were born in 1983, you are about to be 40 years old. And 40% of the women in the United States over the age of 40 will be losing their hair or experience some type of hair loss. Come to me for a hair loss consultation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever industry, you have to create a proactive bundle, right? Where they can get the solution before they get into the problem. You don't want to wait until it's too late. You don't want to wait until they're panicking and then they start going here, there, everywhere. They're buying all these products. They're trying all these things. And then the hair is worse than it could have been, right? The next thing is, you want to create maintenance. We're talking about thinking like a trichologist and making more money. You want to create maintenance plans, aftercare. Create maintenance plans or aftercare. Don't just be excited that the clients are coming in and you don't have a plan of action for aftercare when they're done going through your 12 weeks. And that's with anything, right? If I'm doing photography and you came in, then I want to make sure that next year for your birthday, I'm going to say, look, your birthday coming up and you need a new photo shoot. Congratulations on your business. You need a new photo shoot. I think you're about to write a book. You need a photo shoot, right? So it's the same thing with trichology, right? You're looking at the fact that, okay, there has to be a maintenance plan. How do I keep the client in in good standing with their hair, right? How do I keep them in the loop? How do I keep them in the know? There are different life changes. I'm going to be studying, well, what happens at this age? Or what happens around this time of life? Okay, so they started with me and their kids were only 10, but now their kids are 16, so they have teenagers. So what does that do to the stress level? What does that do to how the hair responds? If their kids were 10 and now they're 16, now they're a certain age. What do I look at as far as eating? All those different things, very important. Next thing, you want to create partnerships, right? Your network is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. What does that mean? That the more people that I start to connect with that are going on the same path that I'm going, the more, the greater the chances that we can put something together and we can all make money. We can all make an impact. We can all be influencers. We can all come together, come up at once, right? So that's really, really good. The next thing is move yourself from an option to a necessity for both your clients and your styling colleagues. Move yourself from option to necessity. As an option, I'll go to it when I can. I guess I'll do it. A necessity is like, before I make any moves, I'm going to go and sit in Maisha's chair. I need to see Maisha. I need her to look at me underneath the scope. I need her to check out my hair. I'm really thinking about getting this hairstyle. I don't know if I should do it. I'm thinking about this chemical service. I've really been stressed out. I've seen my hair start to shed. I really need to see Maisha. I really need to see Marquita. I really need to see somebody. I need to see Jonisha, right? Because what I'm looking at is that, okay, she is not an option. She's a necessity. A necessity. Okay. So think like a trichologist and make more money. That looks like looking deeper into hair and scalp. That looks like pricing properly, creating proactive treatment bundles, also creating maintenance plans, partnerships, and also moving from option to necessity. This month, okay, starting in 2 days, right? It's going to be March. So on Friday is our first powwow session. I want you to join me for the March powwow. Is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to meet up every single week. We're going to be talking about business. We're going to be talking about business structure. We are going to create strategies. We are going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about whatever problems that you have. It is going to be crazy. Bishop said, when you're a necessity, you don't have to give a discount, and don't. When you are a necessity, you don't have to give a discount, because people will write you into their budget. Be a part of the budget, okay? So think like a trichologist. I want you to move out of that space of, and I heard my one of my coach say this. She said, move out of lack. When you are in lack, you move in desperation. I heard another woman say, anything that you chase will run from you. So if you chasing the bag, right? If you chasing the bag and you running after stuff, it's going to run from you, right? Because value attracts resources. Value attracts resources. So the more value that you give, the more resources are attracted to you, because people that want your value are going to pay whatever they need to get your services. Okay? So start to think differently. You are the bomb. Nobody like you. You are amazing. You are a leader. You are a thought leader. You are an influencer. You are a tastemaker in your industry. And that's why people are watching you. Give them something to look at. Continue to study. Continue to present yourself. Be consistent. You don't even have to be the bomb if you're consistent. If you're consistent, people expect to see you, and you begin to create a following, and you create these expectations that every time I turn on my phone or my computer or my television or whatever, Maisha's going to be there and she's going to give me the answers. And so I want you to remember that. Don't forget, join the March powwow. There are no replays. You got to take notes. You can submit your questions in advance. There's going to be strategies. There's going to be business tips. There is VIP Gold and VIP Platinum. Afterpay is available. I can't wait to see you. Have a great day today, and happy hair growing.